Hello friends, we are in the Queen's Park, Savannah, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Trinidad is an island in the Caribbean and it makes a part of a country called Trinidad and Tobago. This is the southern side of the Queen's Park, Savannah, and I am going to what is known as the Agri-Investment and Expo Forum. Now, this is supposed to be open to the public, and basically there are a lot of vendors, people selling stuff, demonstrating stuff, and so forth. As you know, on JB's Man Cave, I like to keep it real. And today I was taking my GoPro and I was experimenting a bit. And the experiment didn't go too well for me. What I did was I attached a Rode microphone on top of the GoPro, and I use that because, you know, in these expos, just like I did with the vegan market, I try to record people, try to record vendors, helping them to promote their stuff for free. But what I notice is the GoPro 10 has its own stabilization, but with having the Rode shock mic on it, as the shock mics try to stabilize the microphone, it sort of made the sensors, I guess, within the GoPro 10 shake a bit, thus causing the stabilization to be off at some point. And you could actually see the mic bobbing on the top there from movement. So if you guys are attempting to use a shotgun mic, I would recommend either putting a shotgun mic in a different location and do not mount it on the GoPro itself, because that will mess up the stabilization. That is, if you're doing stabilization. It's better for you know, still work where you're not moving too much. Another thing you will notice is that unlike my other videos, I tend to point the camera down a lot or away from things that should be obvious, and that's again because I'm trying to avoid people's children, trying to avoid taking up people themselves. Really, I'm just here for the expo, not to get everybody. They just get in the way, really. And whenever you see those blurs, that's because I'm trying to get the children out. Now this front here, for me, was really nice. I wish that we could see more things like this in Trinidad. This should be a normal thing. We shouldn't have to wait for an expo for things like this. We should be having this all over the country, welcoming people and tourists. I'm talking about the front, that is, the entrance, the way it is. There should be a lot more of that. There should be guys, there should be people trying to help tourists and so forth. You know, these are things that you would expect in a tourist-based country. But we are not tourist-based here in Trinidad, are we? Really? So much counting on oil and gas and methanol and those things. But we should really develop tourism. That's just my opinion. Anyway, we're entering here for free. And this is the beginnings of the expo. You'll see some of the vintage vehicles. I covered some of this in another video in Gulf City Mall, where they had an expo about vintage cars. Do you remember seeing that? If not, let me show you the poster for it. How many of you remember some of these vehicles? Now, of course, like just as usual in JB's Man Cave, I give my raw view and my honest opinion about things. First off, I think they could have spaced out things a little bit more. It's a little bit jumbled. I know it doesn't look like that out here, but you will see later when we go inside, the actual places for vendors, to me, it was just too close together and it caused people to pile up. Now, you'll see some people with masks and some people without masks, and that is right now there's no mask mandate. So people can choose to wear a mask if they want or not. Even some people still do. But if you don't see anybody not wearing a mask, there's nothing wrong with that. So this is some of these supposed inventions, I guess, that people are considering to make or have made. A solar powered lawnmower, a cocoa fermenter, cocoa splitter. I guess things to just, make your life a little bit easier. Or if you're into mass production, that is. A lot of this equipment would be well for people who have estates and so forth. With some of the vendors, it was hard to know exactly what their push was. I mean, in this case, you could see the tractor and whatnot. But for some of the vendors, in my opinion, there wasn't an exact understanding of what they were really pushing. Is it one thing or the other? Now in the center here they had, and further up they had like dancers, music and whatnot, and lots of police, military was there too, to bring law and order. They had different sections here that were air conditioned, and we will look at all of them. This one, the farmers were selling their produce, their fruits, veggies, and I went in to see if I saw something unusual or an unusual price. In other words, a good price. But I can tell you from looking at it and asking them some of the prices, these prices for me were on the higher end. Which I guess, they have to pay for being in here, I guess. I mean, the vegetables themselves look really good, right? Look at the size of those gingers. That was really big, but $70 a pound? Really? I'm not disparaging anyone, but wow. Things are going up everywhere, but sometimes, some people will put them way beyond just making a profit. They capitalize too much on, gouging. The other thing that I can't understand with people, some of the vendors, is that if you are there as a vendor, you're there to sell stuff, right? And I gave some of them the opportunity to talk about their products and stuff, just do it on camera, and wow, they got all shy and they got all nervous. And there were others though who were like, yeah, I'll be glad for that, and you will see them in this video. The ones that weren't, well, then I just bypassed them. Now you can see what I mean about lots of people. I mean, this isn't, they always were talking about COVID guidelines and stuff, but there's nothing about COVID guidelines here. And sometimes with some of these booths, I would I wanted to stop and ask questions, but there were just so many people crowding, you know. I could hardly see or say anything or ask a question. So, you know, it was just up for me to, you know what, just take a pamphlet or just look at something or whatever. But at least you get to see what it was like. There were some people from other islands here, I believe, as well. I believe this is hydroponics, how you can grow vegetables out of PVC. And you can see how the shotgun mic, its own stabilizer, is kind of messing up with the stabilization on the GoPro. You can see that slight jitter. As far as the decorations and stuff go, I thought it was well done. The presentation was nice. That's a lot of cocoa. A lot of people are buying stuff too. But I don't know if you can get a feel from me as what I was saying, everything was just too crowded and too congested. There's a lot of noise to it, a lot of chatter. I also got the sense that a lot of people were a bit tired. I don't know if I came late or what, but you know, I would have expected more of a push for, hey, come and see my stuff. But I guess, you know, there were just too many people. I think it would have just sucked the energy out of anybody. Especially when you're given free samples. Well, you know, trainees love anything free, so there would have been a crowd in those places, and a lot of these vendors were giving out free samples. So I could hardly get past people at sometimes. I guess I could have played more of the background, but all you would have heard is a lot of the music that, again, I have issues for copyright, and I just don't want it in my videos. And then a lot of chatter, just a lot of noise, like crowds of noise. And again, I wanted to stop and ask people things, but giving out free stuff was a real challenge for me to speak with anybody. And that's another thing too. Whenever I wanted to speak to vendors, the background noise of all the crowds and stuff was really hard to hear people. When I do get a vendor that's willing to talk, I don't know how well you're going to hear it, but we're going to try. To me, these things, if you're inviting the entire nation, I think this needed to be spaced out more. Bigger aisles, bigger booths. Everything just seemed crammed and just so many people. This is a product that I use. I'm not affiliated with these people, but I just stopped because I was interested. So I'm gonna let them talk at some point.
All of these products here, that is what we manufacture.
My wife made a video on this one. I don't know if you saw it, TRINI vegan.
Yeah. Put on Facebook,
yeah, and this is the one we always use.
And we have so many different flavors as well. These are our two newest flavors. This is our Spartan passion fruit.
You want to talk about it?
Not really. There's so much information. All I can go on is about that.
Well, it's picking you up right now. It's just that your face is not on camera.
Okay, so we at KnoKau distribution and marketing. We manufacture essences, local pancake syrups, I love local juices, as well as Spartan Foods chilled coffee, and I love local iced tea. We also carry powdered cane sugar and the true Trinitarian drink Eco. Which I like to Richmond Valley Cocoa, but it does have a degree of sugar in it.
Yeah, I've tried this too.
And how did it taste?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I like the kind of cinnamon, spicy taste it.
And with our local pancake syrups, our original flavors were the almond and sorrel and honey, and then we have two new flavors, which is the passion fruit and soursop. Each has a little premix. We also carry the different flavors, cocoa rebel, French vanilla, chai, and the original coffee.
Really good.
We also carry our line of simos and cocoa butter. And for the distribution part, we have honey, the cold pressed oil from CGA, as well as SKM, salts, and slim down pasta, which is the fruit vegetable, cassava, and sweet potato.
You all export into?
We also do exports. We have container going to Canada every month. But we export with not just the local companies, but the established companies in Trinidad, essentially APL, Charles, Sunshine, Holiday Foods. But then we also support the local companies as in Patsy's with the Chana or nuts, Soup Leaves, KNA with the local sweets. And
really good. Thanks.
You're welcome. You all take care.
So I don't know if you was able to pick that up. It's hard to hear with all the background noise. But I was just allowing her to explain products. My wife did a video on that. I think I also showed that on one of my videos too. I have no affiliation with those people. But if I do get a good product, especially a local product, I tend to highlight it. Because when something's done properly, I think it should be given some praise.
According to my YouTube channel, JB Manke, if you want to talk about your product on Web3 Expo, you can do that. Go ahead.
Mask or no mask?
Mask or no mask?
No, you can pick up your mask.
Okay. So we are from Eco-Truffles. As you see, we celebrated 10 years this year. June the 1st is our 10th year. And we manufacture a brand of all natural face, hair and body. We normally say our tagline is catering for you from hair to toe. So we have a full hair line consisting of our rosemary shampoo, rosemary, lemon and eucalyptus, which is this one. And it's a clarifying shampoo, removes buildup from your scalp. Alright, partnering with this is our hibiscus, sage and roses conditioner, which of course we infuse into the process as we make this. I like to call this the on-the-run shampoo because you can do it quickly, you can leave it in, and if you wish you can just wash out the excess. It's for moisturizing the hair. Hibiscus is a very key ingredient in a lot of our hair products. So we have hibiscus in this one. This is a shea butter based deep conditioner called hibiscus hair mask. And of course this is when you have more time. So you put it on, you coat the strands and you either go under your steamer or you can use a normal plastic cap and get the job done. Alright. In addition to our hair products, Eco-Truffles also carries a full facial line, which I think is one of our popular areas, with our turmeric and charcoal. So if you are somebody who has oily skin or you have marks and blemishes, you would like to go up the turmeric line, which is the turmeric cleanser, the turmeric and neem mask. And of course, I have also with turmeric a moisturizer called Forever Fabulous, as in frankincense, myrrh, turmeric, coffee, and it doubles as a skin tightener.
And how do people get in touch with you?
People get in touch with me through my site, Eco-Truffles. It's now shop.ecotruffles.com. So we have full-fledged e-shop.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Or you can call our number, or you can you can get us on WhatsApp, or you can meet us when we get out to occasions like this.
You saw that big fan behind her, right? That was wow. I don't know if you were able to pick that up or not. But again, letting people, you know, talk about their products. She was out of Point Lisa's. And you consider willing participants who are willing to show their stuff. Now I inadvertently just walked across it, but they were doing a demonstration, but it was really weird because there were people seated in the audience, but there were people also blocking the demonstration, so the people in the audience couldn't see. I'm not too sure how that was managed. This section is where everybody gathers to do what people like to do the most here in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is food. Now, I'm vegan. For those of you who don't know, I don't eat any animal products, so I'm not going to be highlighting any dead animals. Actually, that was another thing that I saw in his show that I wasn't too happy with, and that was a lot of caged animals. When I reach to there, I will talk more about that. Yeah, fruit juices, we could go up on that. So this part was open for people to also see, but nobody was really coming around there, and that's because everybody was just flocking to, you know, where they're giving out stuff free and they whatnot. I don't know, the layout to me could have been done a little bit better. You know, you have these open areas on one hand, but then a lot of crowds on the other hand in certain spots. maybe they thought people would fan out, but it didn't work out that way in my opinion. I mean, decorations was nice, having security was nice, those little places to wash your hands, all that was nice. But just the crowd. I mean, the only way I thought maybe I could have fixed that is if you could let in a certain number of people at a time, especially as we were still in a pandemic phase, if you want to call it that. But that it didn't happen that way. It was like, okay, just a mass of people coming. And in these various sections here, people were, selling whatever it is they produced. This area was a little bit more open than the others, but still a lot of crowds. And especially when they were giving out samples, you could hardly talk with anybody because everybody was just, wham, right there by these samples. But I think I'm not sure if I got anybody in this section. This is Casey Candy. If you saw the Cuba video that I did pass through there, or by there. The factory is in Cuba, and I was supposed to go on a tour with them, but something with the timing didn't work out. What do you think so far? Like everything else, after the fact, this happened in August, by the way. But after the fact, there was a debate by many, including the Farmers Association, about the purpose of the whole expo and whether it really helped individual farmers. It seemed to be more helping people who are already established. At least that's the feedback I heard. But I don't know. If you're involved in farming or the agribusiness or something, or the show, tell me what you think.
Hi. I'm recording from my YouTube channel.
Sure.
Go ahead. It's recording.
Hi, I'm Shanice Charles. We are Dare Diet Enterprises, manufacture Dashin cereal. Our flavor is Caribbean coconut. It comes with pineapple or just the flakes alone if you are allergic to pine. We also have 100% cassava flour. We are a Tobago-based company and we are here today to showcase our products. We're here until tomorrow, Sunday.
I'll help people can contact you.
Yes.
You have a website?
Our social media, phone number, everything right here.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
You can look for the video on JB's Man Cave.
JB's Man Cave.
On YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tobago-based company.
I have a YouTube channel. I'm just recording for everybody. If you want to advertise yourself, you can feel free to do
You can pass back later because she now went to get lunch.
I was going to allow these people to share their products, but they were telling me that the person who is their PR person wasn't there. So no appearance here on the video. I think they were selling coconut pressed oil, I'm not sure. They asked me to pass back, but you know, in this kind of place, passing back, that's really a hard one. Here's somebody that was willing.
Anybody?
I'm recording for my YouTube channel. If you want to get free advertising, go ahead and speak to the product.
No problem. So we are the Rose Foundation and Beyond Borders, and what you will see here today is a number of products from various entrepreneurs from different communities. So we have sweet potato flour, which is this. We have a red bean flour that we made that can be used as an instant red bean for soups and thickening agent in stews. You can also use it when you're kneading flour to get that added bulk and properties in the flour mix. What we've taken these flours and done also is we've made some products such as a sweet potato akra mix, a sweet potato cake mix, and a bread mix that you will see on that table when we get to that corner. This is pumpkin flour made from local pumpkin as well. It can be used as you just add your hot water or in your mix to add a color as in terms of a natural colorant as well. Most of these products, what we did is we looked at food sustainability and storage. We thought about during the pandemic how things were being difficult to get into the borders in terms of the import, and we focused how can we get products that are easily accessible if there's a food storage, and how can we also have it with a long shelf life so that we have food if there's a power outage or anything that we need in terms of storing up food and having food sustainability in addition to that. Let's walk in and I'll show you some of the other items. This is a natural gluten-free akra mix. So most people think that akra has to have saltfish in it. With this plantain, this is sweet potato. We have a plantain akra mix as well, but it's all sold out right now. You get the same taste and flavor of akra with it being vegan. And
this is vegan?
It is. Everything here is vegan.
Very good. I'm vegan.
I'm vegan. So that's why we try to promote vegetarian products and cruelty-free, no chemicals, no added preservatives.
Because when you started to say akra, I was like, I don't know if I really want to hear this, but it's good.
Exactly. So we even had a pigeon peas pylori mix, where with normal pylori you just get that floury taste, but with the pylori mix now you get the taste and the bite of all these seasonings and flavors in it from pigeon peas flour. The tamarind dip goes.
Before you go there,
yeah.
the akra mix, you sell that on the market? Or
these
is
products
this
are not on the shelves.
Oh, so what is your plan? Or what is
You all can contact us, the Rose Distributors, at 6. It's the Rose Foundation, yes. 628-2557, and we will get the products to you.
Are you selling this here today?
They are for sale.
So something like this is how much?
This is $30.
And that would give you how much?
So it's the same methodology in terms of how you make pylori. You add the hot water, you mix it until you get that sticky paste, and then you fry the boulders in hot oil. So with this, I think you may get about 2-3 servings.
Alright.
The tamarind dip. Not a problem. Again, from local tamarind. This is pigeon peas wine. So a lot of
of people are not familiar with pigeon peas and what you can get and do from pigeon peas. When the Rose Foundation went into the community of Carinage, we took pigeon peas and we got over 72 byproducts from it. So there's pigeon peas wine, there's pigeon peas ice cream, pigeon peas doubles, pigeon peas flour, pigeon peas bread, a number of items from pigeon peas that our Flojo create and make. They are also in a booth lower down.
Pigeon peas ice cream with milk or with...
No.
Okay.
Pigeon peas
So what
ice
do you use
cream.
for that milky base? Almond milk or something else or?
Miss Flojo will have to tell you about that.
Okay, okay.
This is another brand of wine that we have. The Campanalas wine. If you're familiar with the sea coconut that Trinidad has, it grows on the shoreline. It looks almost like an almond tree.
Yes, yes.
Right? So this is made from that. These are just $150.
It's fermented? It's natural wine?
It's natural wine.
Okay.
The sweet potato cake mix from the sweet potato flour. So you add all your wet ingredients to it, and everything else is readily in the pack to just add your wet mixed ingredients. This is what you call a pastory instant soup mix. You know when farmers have a natural pastory and it gets too hard and they're unable to sell it, what we did is we took those products so that they don't have the wastage, and we can use it now to create an instant soup mix so that nothing gets thrown away. We can use what they don't sell to create these. And of course you just add water and...
So a soup pack like this will cost how much?
This is 20.
20? And that's what, one bowl?
Yes, about one or two servings at least. I'm sure everyone is familiar with the callaloo. So you can't say if you're going to a different country and it's like, how do I get my callaloo? I'm in another country. You can travel with this. It's perfect for a travel size. You can get about 2 or 3 servings, and if your preference is coconut milk, you can use the coconut milk as a substitute for hot water, or you can use the hot water to activate it.
Handy.
Huh?
Handy.
Very handy. We have our instant porridge mix as well. You just add water, your spices, your cinnamon, for whatever flavor. You sweeten as you... This is our banana bread mix. Same process as the cake mix, but with bread it's a bit different because you have to knead it. So you're just adding your yeast and your oil, your water, and you have a banana bread at your grasp. I have the instant pancake mix here, and over here are some samples of it as well that you can taste. So the process of this one is to just add water. So we recognize with time and with people's busy schedule, they just want something in a pack that they don't have to do much to. So all the ingredients are included in here to facilitate that process.
You just add water.
You just add water. Water.
Let's try the pancake.
Of course.
This has syrup on it.
So this is the tamarind dip, and we have this syrup. So it's...
I want to taste it just as it is.
Which one would you like?
What's the difference?
So there's plantain and there's the sweet potato.
Let's try the plantain. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have more boys here, they might like to try it too.
That's no problem.
Let's try the pancake mix.
Hi.
Thank you.
Here you are.
Come to Very strong.
All this is TRINI sweetened treats. This is sweet potato curry. You can have a sample of this as well.
It's crunchy as well. Thank you. No, you take one.
Thank you.
Take one, take one. Oh, really good. You all do stuff here too?
Female products. What we have for men are the hair and beard cream and the beard oil. So that's to facilitate with hair growth and softening of the hair. The other items are this is our famous Tobago scrub. We tried to capture the feeling of when you go to Tobago, you have that feeling of being rejuvenated, being re-energized. So when you experience, have a smell.
Nice.
If you have a long day at work and you can't say jump on a plane and go to Tobago, you get the experience of Tobago in a bottle by having this at home, and you can scrub and you can get the revitalizing feeling after you use this as a pampering after a long day. The other items we have is our feminine hygiene care, which is the yoni steam for women that goes with the vaginal scrub and the very famous yoni oil. So as part of a routine for women hygiene, they can have this steam, they can use it before their cycle, and then in terms of taking care of that area, they have the vaginal scrub that they can use for exfoliation and soothing of the area, followed by the yoni oil application. This is our new line of natural body butters. So body butters are more luxurious than hand creams. So this is the consistency, and what I can do is give you a test spot. So what it does is the body butter absorbs into your pores. So when you find yourself having to say you wash your hand and the moisture leaves it and then you have to go and re-cream, you don't have to do that with the body butters. It gives you that soft, subtle skin, and the fragrance lasts longer in terms of keeping you hydrated and keeping you moisturized. These are our candles. So we have three flavors here. We have the spice, we have the frankincense, and there's a sandalwood scent. So I think I took you through.
Really good stuff. I want to get one of those
Acro mix, not a problem, let me line you up.
Okay.
So I'm fast forwarding here after that lovely lady was nicely introducing all those products. That's how it's supposed to be. That, you know, you're on an expo, you're giving free advertising, really. Nobody's paying me to do this, and so you should really be excited about sharing your product. I mean, If I went abroad and did this, people would be like jumping on me. Sure, I want to share my product, but some people are just not like that. These are local treats. I'm sure you're familiar with them. Those are plantain chips, cassava chips, and so forth. There's a new craze now with the cost of flour, wheat flour, white flour, because of the war in Ukraine. There are these innovative products to try and you make flour with other things like cassava, pumpkin, whatnot. But I don't know. To me, I mean, it's a good idea, but it ends up being more expensive. It's not that versatile. Yes, flour has gone up, but it's still cheaper than if, let's say, you went to buy cassava flour. You know, that costs way more than regular flour. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section of my channel. These people were doing a really nice job with chocolate, and I was asking them if they made anything like this but vegan. And you really have to know your stuff if you're gonna make chocolate. Not all chocolate needs to have milk in it. There is dark chocolate, and there are milk substitutes, people. But I really like their presentation. I had to give them that. They presented it well, and as you can see, I'm hanging around because what, I have a weakness for chocolate. But I was telling them, make it vegan. So we're going into the next section again. See what we'll find. This was making me tasty, all this moving around. And Orchard was right there giving out juice. So I said, why not? I don't know. This fruit and veggie combination thing, it's okay. But I don't actually drink juices otherwise. Just because of they just add so much sugar. Just, I tend to just go with water. That's it, water. That's all your body really needs. But I didn't have water with me, and all this walking up and down. I said, why not? Give it a shot. But at least they don't add a lot of other sugars to it. I mean, these things come from concentrate, and concentrate is already sugar. That's how they preserve it. Sugar is its own preserving agent. Usually if I'm drinking any kind of drink other than water, it would be a club soda, or a mixture I like to do is take a 5-liter bottle, fill it up about 3/4 ways, and then add a tin of Trinidad unsweetened grapefruit juice to it. Shake it up, put it in the freezer to get kind of frosted, slushy, and then drink that all day. Yeah, I'm weird that way, but it's energizing, and for me it tastes really good. So we're continuing looking around. You see how they put KnoKau ice cream? That's because the stuff was vegan, as it should be. And I was trying to get to talk with them because, you know, when people are promoting vegan stuff, I try to highlight them even more. But they too were giving out some samples, and as you can see, I can't get past. Because I don't know, maybe they were hoping people just said, look, take a tub of ice cream and let's go. But I wanted to talk with them and highlight them a bit. And eventually I will. But the crowd's going, people just don't want to move. And that's why I'm just panning here, showing you the crowd, because I'm waiting for these people to leave so I can actually talk with the vendor, give them some highlight. Again, as you know, I could have edited all this, I could have fast forwarded all this, but you know, it's all part of the role.
So we have KnoKau ice cream. So KnoKau because there's no cow in it. It's a vegan, lactose-free ice cream. So we use coconuts, cashews and oats, and that's what replaces the milk and cream in usual ice cream. And the ones we have today are gluten-free as well.
You on the market?
We are, but we're new as well. So we're in South and we'll be restocking the extra food soon.
Sounds good. You can check me out.
So we haven't finished yet, but tell me what you think. She gave me a sample, it's pretty good. Tell me what you think so far of the expo. Do you agree with my opinion? Just too many people, too much crowds, not the ability to actually check out what vendors are doing because people are just crowding them. What do you think? I had my sons with me too, so sometimes I was waiting for them to catch up with me, or if they were getting a sample, wait for them to finish the sample. And I had to, I didn't have an extension rod with me, unfortunately, on this occasion, but I had to actually raise my hand because there was just so many people. I have the camera sort of like by my chest, but some instances I really had to raise it. If you see anybody that you recognize, feel free to let them know that they appeared in the video.
Okay, you're on.
Hi, today we have a fermented probiotic drink called Amare Probiotics. It's really good for your digestive system. It helps you with your acid reflux, bloating, gas, and constipation. We have a variety of flavors and it's available in supermarkets nationwide as well as price marks.
So how much is a bottle of all
It
this?
ranges from 30 to 50 depending on where you buy, which product you choose. But it really just depends.
And what's the difference between this and taking a tablet?
Okay, so we have two products here. We have the kefir and we have the kombucha. Both of them have different amounts of probiotics in it. The kefir has more probiotics than the kombucha. If you take a tablet, you're probably only going to find about 2 to 3 different strains of probiotics in it. Whereas these ones contain up to 60 different strains of probiotics. And this one has up to 30 different strains of probiotics.
Wait. And this is your logo and stuff here, right?
This is our old logo with the current of rebranding. Our new logo is okay.
Okay, you can check the video on JB's Man Cave on YouTube. JB Man Cave on YouTube. Take care.
There's another lady willing to talk about her product. Again, as it should be. That was interesting about the probiotics. Containing more strands than just taking a tablet. Have you tried their product? Or do you take probiotics? Let me know. These are different local seasonings, peppers. I actually buy some of that stuff from the grocery. They're a lot cheaper than other brands. No, this might be me just trying to get past people, huh? Children and all that. But just again, a mass of people, so and I'm really trying to get away from people, but that's really hard. When I say get away from people, not focus on people, just focus on the products and the actual expo itself, not just the people who are looking on. And that would prove to be quite a challenge. I was kind of waiting for this guy to finish whatever he was doing in order to talk with him about his products, but again, in this instance though, he was actually making some sales, so I really can't say it was just people crowding or whatever. But truly, if I was to come to something like this again, I don't know, I would have to do a few things differently. I actually don't know if I could do anything about it, to be honest. It kind of reminds me of how when I go to the other expos and record stuff, there's either loud music or something, and it makes it really hard to pick up what is really happening in the place that you visit. Noisy fans or noisy music or just lots of people. I'm not saying that everybody have to cater for me, but I'm just saying for the purpose of recording, it's very difficult. I do wonder, if there was a fee to enter, would there be this many people? This part on the left here looked interesting, the layout and stuff, but there were just too many people there, kind of crowded. And the thing with the crowding issue is, if you notice on JB's market, I just let the video run. I don't edit, so it's not like I'm gonna stand up there waiting 10 minutes to speak with somebody. And if I find that, oh look, you know, it's taking too long to get to you or to get your attention, or then I just move on.
I tried making almond milk though. I almond milk for myself.
Good thing I caught that door. It started to rain, so for the people on the outside, it would have been too nice. They had to put up with the elements. These sections were all about different things. This one seemed to be marine, although it kind of mixed up. I really wish I brought my extension rod in this case, but then, you know, this kind of a fair is not a place for an extension rod, because you want to really zoom in and talk about people's products and stuff, look at the products. But wow, there's just so many people. One thing I will give that I saw in this expo is the ingenuity, innovation, and ideas that a lot of trainees came up with. I think was really good. We have lots of talent here, lots of good ideas. And it's good to see, you know, small businesses putting forward what they do so that they can become big businesses and corporations. We have a local hunters association that also doubles as a search and rescue. That was their booth that they passed. I'm not too crazy about the hunting part. Yeah, it's good that they can help find people that are lost or help assist the police. That's good. But I'm not too sure about the killing of the animals. In fact, I shouldn't say I'm not too sure. I don't like, I disagree with hunting animals. Especially in 2022, where is no longer a necessity. We're capable of providing a mass production of plant-based foods. Right, so we're back on the outside. We're kind of winding up here. We're going to see the last bit of the expo. The sadder part, in my opinion. It's again hydroponics. It's a very good idea. You can do a lot of that at home, especially if you're good at manipulating PVC pipes.
Is this same place?
I was just checking to see if that was the same place. I don't like seeing animals in cages, just like people don't like seeing people in prison, especially when they commit no crime. Animals haven't committed any crime. But here they are, imprisoned. Now the irony of this is, after I recorded this, I was just standing there given my sons wanted to see it, so I let them go ahead. And I was standing outside watching it. I was watching some of the animals just lying in their own, excrement. And I was thinking, what a way to spend your life, a 6x6 wooden whatever structure, sitting in your own stuff. See, right there. Sometimes all day. These animals deserve to be free. And anyway, while I was watching that, this guy came up to me. I guess he's associated with this part here. And I don't know if he thought that I was reflecting on it, or if I was interested in it, or whatever. But I think he was taken aback when I told him I very much disagree with all of this. And he tried to sell me the idea of how people, I was saying that, you wouldn't put a human in prison. And then he tried to tell me how prisoners have such good meals that they get. I just couldn't understand the thinking. I mean, do we send people to prison because they're gonna get good food? It's actually because they commit crimes and they can't get along in society, so we imprison them. Is that really how we see animals? That same light? That we need to capture and cage them in order to feed them? No, they're quite capable of going around eating grass for themselves. Anyway, this is us leaving the expo. I guess if you were really into this kind of thing, this would be interesting, but I don't know how I left feeling. There were a few good highlights, but I don't know. I think what really bugged me was just the amount of people. I couldn't feel comfortable taking in everything because there's just a lot of people around. There's so many people that's actually hard to even leave. So that was the end of the day, and this was the expo. Tell me what you think in the comments area of my YouTube channel. For those of you who are vendors that actually spoke and talked about your product, good on you. Make sure to subscribe, like and share. Thanks so much for watching.